Okay, let's do this AEW review. I think this is the second review tonight, but yes, AEW, what we got going on? I guess into the build for Blood and Guts. What is going to be on tonight's show, huh? What do we got for tonight? Well, let's see here. Salt Lake City, Utah. Of course, a big crowd and whatnot. Pretty much kicking off the show. Of course, they had a recap from last week, but we kick it off with Hangman Page. Pretty much he's going to be in a tag match tonight, but Kenny Omega is out of action tonight. He will not be wrestling, so Hangman is going to have a mystery partner. Next thing you know, the Bucks is standing right by him then, and Page says, listen, he needs someone who he can trust, and he knows he's not going to team with Matt Jackson if he was even the last man on Earth, so he's not going to tag with him. And he says, so you brought us in here to say you're not tagging with us? Page says, hey, Nick, man, you got your gear and everything. You can help me tonight. But he says it's going to be a mystery partner as they walked away. Matt pretty much says, you're not going to consider a team with that prick, are you? As Nick looked on, and they walked away right after that. So Hangman and a mystery partner were going to face the Inner Circle later on tonight. But next, what do we got here next on this show? Especially the kicking off the show, I should say, after the pyro. We kicked it off with Cody and, of course, his super elaborate entrance with that bad-looking neck tattoo versus Ortiz. Not a bad match, let me say that first. But I think the thing that, of course, that was taken from this match that I'm sure everybody's talking about is the debut of Lance Archer. Pretty much showing up with Jake Roberts through the crowd. I think people did not notice him at first until during the match. Of course, people ended up chanting, holy shit, and everything when they saw him. And I'll get a little bit more into Lance Archer's debut in a second. I'm going to finish the match here first. Like I said, it wasn't really a bad match between Cody and Ortiz out there. Of course, Cody's going to throw his weight belt over into the crowd and everything, but throughout this match, Cody did a suicide dive onto Santana after, Santana was about to go after Arn Anderson out there, because I think Brandy was out there with him too. One thing I can also take away from Cody, I should have said this during his entrance though, I know he's got a new shirt and everything, but I get the Foxhound reference. If you played Metal Gear Solid, you know what I'm talking about, especially the Foxhound-like type of shirt he was wearing. Look it up. Don't believe me? Look it up. But like I said, after Cody, we did a suicide dive on Santana, pretty much going back after Ortiz, suplexing him on the ramp. Archer looked like he was about to climb over the barricade, but Jake Roberts stopped him as they pretty much left in right after that. Cody ended up pretty much hitting the figure four on Ortiz for the win. Santana attacked Cody from behind and pretty much hit him with the sock. Arn Anderson got in and pretty much like he's about to go against Santana, but Matt Jackson and Kenny Omega came out for the save then. Pretty much Santana got out of the ring. Next thing you know, they went to Chris Jericho and some of the Inner Circle. Jake Hager and Sammy Guevara was standing there with him. As Jericho pretty much said that all the Inner Circle, they're all, they're putting AEW on notice. And he says that they are going to beat the hell out of you pumpkin-headed dipshits at Blood and Guts in the next week or two. I believe that thing is. I'm going to get more of that too. But Jericho pretty much says, where's your buddy Nick Jackson, huh? Looks like he's got a headache or maybe a body ache, which he was on the ground. And I think there was some blood coming from his mouth. And like the garage door was on top of him. Pretty much the Inner Circle laughed before they walked away. Pretty much the rest of the Elite, including Dustin, no Hangman, by the way, came in and pretty much checked on Nick as EMTs, pretty much put him in an ambulance, because a lot of that commercial thing, I'm sick of that whole commercial thing, and I know other shows do that too, but I feel like AEW does that through like the whole night, like the picture-in-picture thing, the commercial here, and then you're playing the show there. I never pay attention to the commercial thing when it happens, because I don't think nothing really ever is important going on. I feel like they go at the wrong times to it, but I don't know, it just gets annoying after a while. As for Lance Archer's debut, do I think it was kind of anticlimactic? Now, I would expect them to make a run-in or be a surprise and everything, which I said it last week. It was either going to be Lance Archer or Brody Lee. It was going to be one of the two, and it ended up being Lance Archer, okay? And I guess what they're trying to do is like they're saving Lance Archer. They don't want him to attack Cody yet, so I guess they want to build it up because I'm like, okay, Archer's here, but I kind of expected some type of attack or maybe a surprise. Obviously, he's not going to talk, and Jake the Snake's doing all the talking. Okay, because listen, Lance Archer, he's never been that great on the mic, if you ask me. And this is something I've watched his promos in New Japan because it's easy to very imitate because all it was everybody dies. Die, die, die. Everybody dies. Everybody dies, okay? You all die. Jon Moxley, you die. IWGP US champion. Die, die, die. Suzuki-gun. Die, 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 die. Murdoch Monster. Killer Squad. Die, die, die. That's how it usually goes. I feel like I could imitate that voice a little well. But, you know, Lance Archer, though, like I said, not the best promo guy, so there's a reason why they got somebody talking for him. So, yeah, like I said, basically this was his debut tonight. Not a match or anything, just sitting there and stuff. I think most everybody, like I said, knew who he was because, like I said, they chanted holy shit because I was wondering, like, hopefully these people know who Lance Archer is. And everything. I think he's going to do good in AEW because obviously there's not really any New Japan going on right now. I guess he's still with New Japan, but I'm not going to get into that whole thing. Possibly another video or whatnot, but was he supposed to be in the New Japan Cup? Well, I haven't did any whole New Japan Cup's canceled anyways, so like I said, the stuff I've seen him do is work over there and here. I don't know what to expect out of him in AEW, but hey, they got Jake the Snake with him, and I guess they're just going to have... It's most likely going to be Cody Rhodes and Lance Archer in some type of match during the future, but yes, this was the debut we got from Archer, though, tonight, because I was sitting there wondering, like, okay, so basically he came, he sat, and he did nothing, alright? And he teased, looked like he was going to do something, but like I said, Jake the Snake held him back. So I guess they want to milk this for a minute until further notice, and maybe we'll get something going along with that. But yeah, that's Lance Archer's debut, and we're still calling him the Murder Hawk Monster there. You know, he's still got that whole Mohawk thing going on and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see what happens, though. Hopefully he does the same stuff like he did over there, because I'm sure everybody talks about his breakout year, especially last year during the G1 and whatnot. But moving on, we get to a women's tag match. Nyla Rose and Bea Priestley, who we have not seen in a very long time on AEW, versus Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida. I thought this was a decent match. I think for once the crowd actually somewhat gave a fuck this time, because usually when a lot of these women's tag matches come on, the crowd becomes very silent or no one seems to really care. Now, I was a little confused by the ending of this. Like I said, it wasn't a bad match all the way, I'll say that. Because Hikaru Shida ended up doing a suplex on Bea Priestley and pretty much, did a suplex on Priestley on the top rope after taking out Nyla Rose. But after that suplex, Nyla Rose speared Hikaru Shida and then hit her with a powerbomb right after. And then right after the match, Bea Priestley attacked Nyla Rose. Now, there's some things that don't make sense in this, in my opinion, okay? We're going by this ranking system, okay? And I try to pay attention to this, but Hikaru Shida had, 5 straight wins in AEW right now? So, I don't know if she's at the number 1 top ranking, because I know it's not Chris Statlander anymore, but Hikaru Shida most likely had to be the one moved up next, right? So I'm thinking, okay, they're not going to have her lose. You think they will protect her if we're going by this whole ranking system thing? You pin Chris Statlander. But then what doesn't make sense to me, it's like, okay, Bea Priestley now look like she's going for the title. I'm like, we haven't seen this woman on TV in 3-4 months, I believe? I think the last time she was on AEW was when, December? November? I think they said this on the commentary team. But the last time Bea Priestley was even around was at least December and November. She's not bad or anything, but it would make no sense right now for her going after the title, because number one, how many people know who this woman is? I don't think people know enough about her, okay? Now I know she mostly wrestles in Japan due to the Stardom promotion and everything, so we know Bea Priestley is over there a lot, but I don't know why they're trying to push her for the title, okay? Because I'm sitting there wondering, can we at least establish her first before going after the belt? Because a lot of that just didn't make sense to me. It's like, okay, you got Chris Statlander possibly in number 1, and probably high in the rankings, so you think you protect her, especially to go for Nyla Rose next, and you just pin Chris Statlander because Chris Statlander already had her shot for the title and lost. So, something that don't make sense. Okay, that didn't make a lot of sense to me in that ending, because I'm like, okay, Bea Priestley's the heel, but she attacks the heel, and now she wants a title shot. But since we're going by rankings here, we ain't even seen the girl, so it's not much to take from that. Okay. We then went to Christopher Daniels, who was doing an imitation of the Dark Order video, as he said, screw the Dark Order, and talked about, talked about how the Dark Order were poised for success until they ran the SCU, and then they just lost all the time. And that, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are not a success out there. They're, a smoke screen, so is the Exalted One. That there is no Exalted One. And Daniel says he has challenged both Uno and Grayson to face them in singles matches. And when the Exalted One doesn't come out to save them, it'll prove that he doesn't exist, which they end up announcing that the Exalted One is supposed to be on TV next week. Will it be Matt Hardy? Most likely. I'm just going to say most likely. Or damn near maybe 100% yes. I'd be surprised if it was someone else other than Matt Hardy. But some people think it's going to be Brody Lee that shows up as the Exalted One. But I'm sure a lot of signs right now point to Matt Hardy coming out next week. Next, though, we have MJF, the Butcher, the Baker, and the Candlestick Maker. Or whatever you want to call him, the Bunny, without the mask this time, by the way. Versus Jungle Express. Okay. Looking at this tag match, which there's a lot of 6-man tag matches. My friend Steven brought this up to me tonight. A lot of 6-man tag matches. It's a lot of tag team or 6-man tag matches on these shows nowadays for AEW. And tonight was a lot of 6-man tag match. Now, someone said, could they create a 6-man title? Maybe. I don't know if that's a good idea right now. But if you keep creating all these 6-man stables or tag teams or whatnot, you may have to have one of those. I know Ring of Honor and New Japan do it, but I don't know if it's time for that. Listen, Luchasaurus is over. Let me say that. Number one. Jungle Boy is good and everything. I'm not going to get in the whole burial of Marco Stunt. I think I've done that enough. Like I said, I don't really take it serious, especially, I don't think nobody should be selling to this dude. It just doesn't look right at the time. Because, like I said, I'm not going to get into the whole size thing right now, but this was not a bad match, other than of course, the very botched spot where Luchasaurus, and this looked bad, okay, because I think he did that moonsault, like a standing moonsault, right? And I think he's pinning MJF, and it looked like his thing that didn't make no sense. The referee counts to 2. It looked like Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt had to get in a position so the Butcher there could throw Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy to have them all land on Luchasaurus to break up the count, because that was like the longest 2 count I've ever seen, honestly. Okay, like 1, 2, and Aubrey Edwards just got a hold of hand, like 2, 2.5, 2 3/4, 2 and a pint of milk, 2 and a quarter cans, 2 close to 2 and 99%. And I sat there like that was definitely 3. I'm sure a lot of people saw that. It's like they had to it's like they were late on the spot and had to get into position as quick as possible, okay? But, pretty much the Bunny ended up distracting Jungle Boy, which the Blade knocked him off the top rope. Wardlow pretty much threw Luchasaurus into the ring steps. MJF was getting stomped on by Marco Stunt, but MJF pretty much put him in the armbar, or what they call it, the Salt of the Earth armbar, and end up winning the match. So one thing I've noticed is this: every time MJF teams up with the Butcher and Baker, that's the only time they can win a match. They can't win a match on their own because most of the time they're job guys. But when you actually put them with MJF, I've noticed this for a while now. Every time MJF teams with them, which I don't even understand why he keeps teaming with them, like it will pay him off or whatnot, that's the only time they will win. And like I predicted like last time, MJF is going to be the one to get the pinfall or the win right there. The Butcher, Baker, Candlestick Maker are just their bodies. That's basically what they are. That's the only time they win matches, is that if you put them with someone else. Because if you put them out there by themselves, it's not working, okay? It just isn't. I'll say this. The Jungle Express, one other thing, like I said, Luchasaurus is over, and the Jungle Express is really over. Like I said, I like Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Marco Stunt is the only thing that brings the team down, if you ask me. It really does. And even MJF selling to him didn't make a lot of sense to me out there. But like I said, for MJF and them get the win, but that's the only time the Butcher and the Baker and the Candlestick Maker ever really gonna find a way to beat someone is with MJF. They played a video with Darby Allin. Of course, he was wearing a Jericho mask and Sammy Guevara mask and a body bag before he could drag it along in a truck that said "Rest in Peace, Sammy." Next, we went to Tony Schiavone and the Britt Baker promo of the week. Of course, she has to bring Starbucks coffee and, you know, pretty much talked about Utah because it's hard to find sugar with a lot of high BMI and poor oral health right now. And that she's a dentist and she can help them. And that told the fans to be janitors, plumbers, dental assistants. And we can all achieve greatness as she is a role model for the fans. And listen, let me say this about Britt Baker. I'm going to get in the rest of the segment too of who came out next. But I feel like every time more and more I'm seeing more of these Britt Baker promos, this is what I'm kind of getting from this. It's almost like, okay, she's going to get heat on the fans if she talks about the fans. We know that as a fact. Not taking anything away from that. But, how can I say this? It's almost like every time I hear, some people think this is go away heat. Which I can understand it could be go away heat. And I can understand that point wholeheartedly. Because every time it's like I hear Britt Baker talk, it makes me want to get the Dave Chappelle, if you remember the episode where it has that wrap it up machine, that's what's needed for this segment. But Big Swole ended up coming out then during this segment. Britt Baker says, "Why are you even out here?" And pretty much she said, like, you act like I don't watch the product and everything. And Swole pretty much says that Schiavone doesn't even like you. And Baker pretty much says the only person that likes you in your house is, or cares about you, is your boyfriend. But, you know, Swole ended up saying, "I'm married, baby." So, obviously, these were references to both Cedric Alexander and Adam Cole, of course. And Swole ended up, Swole with Baker took the coffee and ended up throwing it at Big Swole then right after. And she ended up running to the back as Big Swole looked pissed. So, obviously, we have some opponent now for Big Swole and Baker. We'll see a match from for both of these two. We've seen Britt Baker come out and talk all these promos, but I guess finally they're going to have her in some type of feud now. Now, I feel like Big Swole may have to carry that match because Britt Baker's just really not that good in the ring in general, if you ask me. So, maybe something can come from this. At least they're trying to get her into a feud, but it's almost like every time I'm hearing these promos from Britt Baker, I just feel like it's a lot of cringe going on, okay? Next, we get the Death Triangle, the new team that was formed last week. Pac, Pentagon Jr., and Phoenix versus Private Party and Joey Janela, Jelly Nutella, whatever you want to call this guy or whatnot. But, this match here, this wasn't a bad match, and I think this was to eat up a lot of TV time, number one, but listen, we just formed this new team last week, and this wasn't really bad of a match. Now, you could say it was a spot fest or something like that, but if this is, to talk about the new team or showcase them in general, I'm almost surprised this match had a lot of time in it, number one. That's one thing I was actually, I'm like, man, this is actually going on for a minute, almost kind of somewhat even when you think about it, with a lot of back and forth in this match, because I actually kind of thought, I'm like, all right, the Death Triangle are just going to go in there, they're going to dominate and everything. Of course, Janela is going to be the one to take the pin, and I would say he's mostly kind of getting carried throughout most of this match by everybody out here, but, excuse me, by everybody out here and stuff, but, the match was not that bad. Private Party, I feel like they're in a weird spot right now, so I don't really think they got a lot going on. Hopefully they can get something for them. But obviously this mostly was supposed to be a way to showcase the Death Triangle out there. I thought it probably would have been a little bit quicker, but they ate up a lot of time out there, though. So at least they are trying to make them look dominant, but you think it would probably be easier just to take down Private Party and especially Janela out there, to be honest. But the match was not that bad. I will say that. I just felt like it kind of got got a lot of time out there. Like I said, the private party, I just feel like they're in a weird spot right now with not a lot going on. Janela, fuck him. That's all I got to say. Fuck him. But the match was okay, but pretty much right after the Death Triangle ended up putting like a whole bunch of submissions on all three of them, and then the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy came out and made the save. Then pretty much knocking off the Death Triangle. So I'm sure we're gonna get a match with both of these teams next. Like I said, we got a lot of 6-man teams going on right now, so maybe it could be a 6-man belt, but we got a lot of 6-man tag matches on this show. Next, they went to a sit-down interview with JR as he was sitting down with Jon Moxley, pretty much saying he's not medically cleared to compete right now. And Mox was pissed off, and he didn't want to talk about the injuries, but he talked about facing Jericho again. Even Hager, since he said Hager hit him hard, probably won't hit him very hard than anybody that's ever hit him harder in his career. Which he said that if you look at his career, which I'm about to say, like, he hit you harder than anybody else. I can name a few people from New Japan that probably hit you harder, but I'm not gonna go into that. And he said step into the batter box, bitch. And like I said, he went on to talk about Hager saying that he hit him harder than anyone's hit him in his life. And he said at the end of the day that he's just another guy in AEW, and he has a plan now, because blood and guts coming. He said he didn't want to miss it. It's professional wrestling. It has blood and guts. And Inner Circle are going to have their hands full with the Elite, but it's going to be a blind spot, he says. And they're not as smart as they think they are. And most likely, I can predict this right now during that whole whatever War Games match. 9 times out of 10, Jon Moxley's going to get in there and interfere, okay? Because they did talk about the rules to War Games, but Blood and Guts. Basically, it's almost the same as War Games, okay? The only difference is you cannot win by pinfall in this match. You can only win by submission. So, of course, it's going to be the whole, start off with 2 guys and whatever, the number advantage, and every 2 minutes someone else comes out. It's 2 rings. Like I said, it's War Games and stuff, but it's submission, okay? That's the only way you win it. It's submission holds. But we get into the main event. Well, I should say first, Dustin Rhodes was the one that ended up being Hangman's partner, since he said he's already got problems with the Inner Circle. He's going to help Hangman take them on tonight, so there goes the mystery partner. We didn't really wait for a mystery because Dustin announced himself as the partner earlier in the night. But the Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, of course everyone's going to sing along to Jericho's theme song and everything. And going against the Inner Circle. Not a bad match, I will say that in the main event. I think that Canadian Destroyer and then the Buckshot Lariat look clean. He tried to come out for the save then, because they all thought they were in the hospital with Nick Jackson, but he tried to come for the save, but Hager ended up putting him down with a big spine buster right after, and then they pretty much took him to the entrance ramp and suplexed him off of there. They ended up grabbing Hangman Page and was about to do the same thing to John. So once again, Inner Circle, 2 weeks in a row, beat the hell out of everybody. They beat the hell out of Jon Moxley last week. Now they beat the hell out of the entire Elite tonight. Okay, so almost literally the same thing as last week, because now next week it will be the Elite and the Inner Circle. And whoever gets the numbers advantage to this Blood and Guts event coming in the next 2 weeks, okay? I thought this was a pay-per-view, but it is not, and it's supposed to be in Newark, New Jersey and everything, so we'll see what comes from that. But a good episode, I will say, of AEW tonight. I like the main event. Of course, they still turn the story with Hangman and Matt Jackson out there. But I will say the main event wasn't that bad, and it builds, like I said, puts heat on Inner Circle more, and it builds up for the War Games match coming out for Blood and Guts. Of course, we got the debut of Lance Archer tonight, walking with Jake Roberts out there. Other than that, mostly it was just a bunch of six-man tags, which was okay. I will say that. Not the worst, but it was okay. I like the Death Triangle and everything, but even I thought to myself, it's a lot of six-man or tag matches going on right now. The Baker promo was kind of whatever to me. I kind of like Swole coming out, so at least we get a feud coming from this, but even I kind of saw when they were just referencing, here we go, references to Cedric Alexander and Adam Cole right there, because we know why, of course, so there you go. But it was actually it was a pretty good episode. Pretty good. Decent, I will say that. Not as great as last week's, but it wasn't a bad show, though. So it was an overall good show, if you ask me. But like I said, it's a lot of six-man tag matches on here. Not bad, I'll say, but just a lot of six-man tag matches on this show. But other than that, though, I am done with this review for AEW tonight. So yeah, Dynamite. Check out any other review that's been up during the week and everything. So yeah, follow me on Twitter at Hooded9890. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about this review. Check out any other video right now that is uploaded from either yesterday or the day before. Raw, Impact, or whatever is up online right now. So yeah, other than that, check out this review, NXT review, that should be up by the time I finish talking about this review. So yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.